If you are trying to write faster, you are probably making your novel worse. Everywhere you look, people talk about word count goals, speed writing challenges, how to write your novel in 30 days. But narrative writing is not an assembly line, and if you treat it like one, your story will pay the price. Hi, I'm Andrea, the founder of bibisco, the novel writing software for writers who care about depth, not speed. And in this video, I want to show why chasing speed can quietly destroy your novel, and what to focus on instead if you actually want to write something strong, clear, and emotionally true. Let's start with a trap. We live in a culture obsessed by productivity. In factories, in offices, in apps, speed is a metric. The faster you can assemble something, the better. The faster you answer emails, the more efficient you are. So it's natural that this mentality has invaded writing too. You see challenges like 50,000 words in a month, write a novel in 30 days, dictate 5,000 words a day. The message is always the same. If you are not fast, you are failing. And very quietly, without even noticing, many writers start to believe that their value is measured in speed. If I were a real writer, I would write faster. I would produce more words per hour. I wouldn't hesitate so much. But here is the problem. Speed is a great metric for repetitive, predictable tasks. It's a terrible metric for discovering a story you don't fully understand yet. Writing a novel is not the same as assembling the same object again and again. Your story is not a widget in a conveyor belt. When you sit down to write a scene, you are not simply typing out something you already know perfectly. You are trying to understand who is this character really, what do they want in this moment, what are they afraid of, what tension is actually happening underneath the surface. This is not a race, this is thinking, and thinking cannot be rushed. Productivity culture wants your writing to look like a spreadsheet. Every day, a fixed number of words. Every week, a clean upward line. No doubts, no hesitation. Just constant forward motion. But stories do not grow in straight line. They grow in circles, in loops, in returns. You start a scene thinking you know what it's about, and halfway through, the character does something unexpected, or a detail appears that changes how the whole conversation should work. Or you realize, wait, this conflict is not strong enough. Something is missing here. From the outside, this looks like slowing down. You stop, you think, you go back, you adjust. From the inside, this is the work. This is where the story actually becomes clearer. This is where you notice that your character's motivation was thin. This is where you discover that a secondary character is much more interesting than you thought. This is where a simple scene suddenly gains emotional weight. But if you are obsessed with speed, all of this feels wrong. You feel guilty for stopping, you feel guilty for rewriting, you feel guilty for listening to your doubts. You think, I'm wasting time, I should be pushing forward, I should be adding more words, and so you force yourself to move on, to keep the line going up, even if the foundation is weak. The result is a manuscript that grows quickly but feels fragile. Chapters exist, but they don't carry real weight. Characters move, but they don't feel fully alive. Conflicts appear, but they don't really hurt. It's not because you lack talent, it's because you were using the wrong measure. You are judging narrative quality with a stopwatch. If this resonates with you, if you believe that a good novel needs attention, not just speed, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Here we talk about structure, continuity, and the real craft behind finishing a strong, honest story, not just hacking your word count. There is a big myth about rewriting. We are told to see rewriting as fixing mistakes. You write fast, you get to the end, and then you go back to correct what's wrong. But in narrative writing, rewriting is not a correction. Rewriting is the actual writing. The first version of a scene is often just the beginning of a conversation between you and your story. It's like opening a door. You put something on the page. Now you can see it. Now your brain can react to it, question it, test it. You rewrite a scene, and suddenly the the character's desire becomes clearer. You rewrite again and the tension between two characters sharpens. You remove a paragraph and strangely the scene becomes more powerful, more focused. From the outside this might look like wasting time on the same page. From the inside this is where the real story appears. Depth takes time, clarity of characters, clarity of conflict, clarity of emotional truth. These almost never appear in a single fast pass. They emerge slowly as you return to the same material with fresh eyes. This is why I say writing speed and narrative quality belong to completely different worlds. Speed is about how quickly you can move your hands across the keyboard. Narrative quality is about how deeply you can understand what is really happening in your story. And that understanding requires exactly the things that productivity culture hates: hesitation, rethinking, returning, rewriting. When I created Bibisco, I didn't want to build a tool that makes you type faster. We already have many tools for that. I wanted to build a tool that protects the kind of writing that actually makes a story strong. Slow discovery, careful structure, and the freedom to come back and rethink without getting lost. So let me show you what I mean. Here, for example, you have detailed characters profiles. You can explore your characters' backgrounds, desires, fears, contradictions. This is not extra work. This is what allows you to write scenes that feels alive, even if it takes time. Here you have the structure of your novel, parts, chapters, scenes, all organized in a tree. When you decide to slow down and go back to rewrite chapter 3, you don't lose yourself. You see exactly where that chapter sits in the bigger picture. And here you have space for notes, ideas, questions. The doubts that slow you down, in Bibisco they become part of the project, part of the process of understanding your story piece by piece. Bibisco doesn't punish you for not racing forward. It gives you what I like to call structural memory. So even if you need to stop, think, rewrite, or take a break, you can always return to your story, see its architecture, remember your intention, and continue deepening it without feeling lost and without feeling guilty for not being fast enough. If you are tired of feeling guilty, if you feel that your stories need more time, more attention, more rewriting, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not a broken machine, you are a writer. And stories written with care need time. So instead of trying to force yourself to go faster, start building a way of working that supports slow, thoughtful writing. If you want a tool that is designed for that, for depth, for structure, for living with your story over time, you can download Bibisco from the link in the description. It's the novel writing software I created for writers like you who want to finish a novel that actually means something, not just hit a word count target. Thank you for watching, take your time with your story, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.